President Museveni's cabinet reshuffle has been described as placing new wine in old bottles by policy analyst Godbatu Mushabe.
As usual, really, this is what you would describe as Museveni's new old cabinet. As far as I'm concerned, President Museveni's cabinet has no relationship whatsoever with the performance of government.
The appointment of Major General Jim Muhwezi, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi and David Bahati further illustrates the president's attempt to placate the Banyachigezi, where Mbabazi hails from. Muhwezi, Baryomunsi and Bahati now join the East African State Minister Shem Bageine and Henry Banyenzachi as ministers who could undercut Mbabazi's influence in his home turf.
The cabinet can only be a vehicle through which you can derive some political dividends, and therefore acknowledge the contribution of people who have been able to sustain this regime survival project.
A long-time spy who was once part of the inner sanctum of the ruling party, Muhwezi, has been given what appears a less plum information minister docket.
Information bit, I think he should be able to manage, since he has managed information that is even classified as a director of ISO. And if it is about issues of values and value systems, I am not sure that Honorable Jim Muhwezi is qualified.
However, with the media likely to be crucial in 2016, Muhwezi's covert method of work could torpedo what regime insiders claim has been the rising Mbabazi influence in the newsrooms. There are fears that Mary Karoro Kurutu, who has been transferred from the gender ministry to the sensitive security docket, is out of her depth. However, Tumushabe, who is the executive director of the Great Lakes Institute for Strategic Studies, says the appointment is a ploy for the president to oversee the docket without any hindrances.
I don't know what it would take to qualify to be a minister for security. I would expect someone who is fair, who has some background in security. But really, anybody being in that ministry doesn't mean much to President Museveni because he runs his own security system.
Commenting about the appointment of Fred Ruhindi to replace Peter Nyombi, the policy analyst who has a legal background says the Nakawa MP is a good pick.
In some cases, you also get amazed because when people get into certain positions in the Museveni's government, they change in character. I don't know what happens to them. So don't be surprised if Honorable Ruhindi was to change from the gentleman character, decent character, and he becomes something else.
Changing side from the new members of cabinet in President Museveni's reshuffle and focusing a little bit more on those members that have remained on the cabinet list for more than 3 or 4 terms. Many still wonder why the president never lifts a finger to change those members, especially those in key cabinet positions.
I also think that if you removed some of these gentlemen, the president probably would remain lonely in that space of a generation that should have passed in terms of the leadership of this country, but it is basically hanging in there.
Philemon Mateke, a former education minister who had retired from the rough and tumble of elective politics in 2009, has been reappointed as regional affairs minister.
Now you appoint him Minister for Regional Affairs and you want Philemon Mateke to be running on the plane and going to Arusha and wherever. I really don't understand how President Museveni actually, what he looks for in cabinet ministers.
Tumushabe says that such appointments reflect the realignment ahead of 2016 rather than service delivery. Solomon Serwanja, NTV Weekend Edition.